Have you ever tried to study English late at night, staring at your screen, yawning, but forcing yourself to keep going? You tell yourself, just one more video, just one more word to learn, but your mind feels heavy, your eyes are tired, and your focus fades like a candle burning out. Welcome, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Today we'll talk about something that might surprise you. It's not another grammar trick. It's not about studying harder. It's about sleeping better. Because better sleep means better English. In this episode, you'll not only hear an inspiring story, but you'll also learn English naturally, through rhythm, emotion, and storytelling. As you listen, notice the vocabulary that connects to your heart. Words like rest, dream, clarity, energy, and growth. Let them stay with you. And remember this, every time you rest, you're not wasting time. You're preparing for your next victory. So keep growing, one dream at a time. Before we begin, I'd love to know, what country are you listening from? And what time is it right now where you are? Share it in the comments below. Because around the world, we're learning and dreaming together. Music fades slightly. A soft, cinematic swell begins. When I first met Mina, she was sitting in a quiet cafe in Seoul. It was 6 a.m. The sun was rising slowly, painting the city gold. Her eyes looked tired, not because she hadn't slept, but because she hadn't rested for weeks. Mina was an English learner, just like you. She studied every night after work. Flashcards, YouTube videos, podcasts. She tried everything. But no matter how many hours she spent, she felt stuck at the same level. I don't understand, she told me softly. I study so hard, but my brain feels empty. Her words touched me deeply. Because behind that sentence, there was something more. A story of exhaustion, of self-pressure, of believing that success means never stopping. I smiled gently. Mina, I said, maybe the problem isn't your English. Maybe it's your sleep. She laughed, a tired, unsure laugh. Sleep? I can't afford that luxury. I'll rest when I'm fluent. But that night, something changed. Mina decided to try something different. She stopped studying at midnight. She turned off her phone, and before sleeping, she whispered one phrase she had learned that day. Tomorrow I will understand better. The next morning, something magical happened. Her listening felt easier. Her memory was sharper. And when she spoke English out loud, her words flowed more naturally, like water finding its way home. That's when she realized, the brain learns while you sleep. Your dreams are not distractions. They are lessons written in silence. The next week, she began a small ritual. Every night, she wrote 3 English words in her notebook. Just 3. Then she closed her eyes, imagining those words floating gently into her dreams. Peace, confidence, fluency. These were her sleep words. Simple but powerful. You see, sleep isn't just a break from learning. It's the bridge between what you study and what your brain remembers. It's when your mind connects meaning, builds patterns, and prepares you to speak more freely. The phrase sleep on it means to give your mind time to decide, to rest before making a choice. And in learning, that phrase is a secret key. When you sleep on English, you allow your subconscious to practice without stress, without pressure, without fear of mistakes. As Mina's sleep improved, so did her English. She stopped forcing progress. Instead, she started trusting the process. And little by little, her confidence bloomed like morning light. One day, she looked up from her journal and said, I think I finally feel calm when I speak English. Not perfect, but calm. That calmness was her real fluency. Not grammar, not accent, but peace, the kind that lets you listen deeply and speak with heart. The music grows softer, almost whispering now. Tonight, as you close your eyes, remember Mina's story. Don't chase English through sleepless nights. Let it come to you like a gentle tide, carrying new words to your shore. Because sometimes, the most powerful lesson is not found in books, but in the silence between your breaths. When Mina began sleeping better, her world slowly changed. Not just her English, her whole life began to breathe again. She told me, "It's strange. I used to wake up and feel behind, like the day was already running faster than me. But now, I open my eyes, and I feel ready." That word, ready, is powerful. It means your body and mind are in harmony, and that harmony is exactly what your brain needs to remember new words, new sounds, and new ideas. Let's imagine this together. You wake up in the morning after 7 hours of peaceful sleep. The sunlight touches your curtain. You stretch your arms, take a deep breath, and your brain feels light, open and curious. You make a cup of tea or coffee, and as the steam rises, you whisper to yourself, "Today, I'll learn something new," with joy, not pressure. That small sentence, that tiny morning thought, is more powerful than any study plan. It prepares your brain to receive language naturally, because English learning is not a race. It's a rhythm, like breathing, like waves. When you sleep well, your memory becomes stronger. You understand faster. You make deeper connections. It's like watering a plant. You don't pull on the leaves to make it grow. You just give it light, water, and rest. Mina didn't realize it at first, but every night of rest became an act of trust. She was teaching herself to let go of perfection, to believe that rest was not a pause in learning, but part of it. A few weeks later, she joined an online English group. For the first time, she spoke without reading from notes. Her voice was calm, her smile natural. Someone in the group said, "Wow, Mina, your pronunciation sounds so clear lately." She blushed. She didn't realize how much progress she'd made. You see, her brain had been organizing everything while she slept. That's what sleep does. It sorts memories, connects meanings, and builds stronger neural bridges. Imagine those bridges as little roads between your English words. At first, they're weak and broken, but every good night's sleep repairs them, making your ideas travel faster, smoother, easier. That's why sometimes you wake up and suddenly understand a phrase you couldn't grasp yesterday. That's not luck. That's your sleeping brain doing quiet, invisible work. So if you ever feel stuck, if you feel like nothing is improving, try this. Instead of studying longer, sleep earlier. Give your brain permission to breathe. Now I know, it's not easy. We live in a world that celebrates busyness. We scroll late at night, watch one more video, chase one more task. We wear our tiredness like a badge of honor, but exhaustion isn't achievement. It's just noise covering your inner clarity. Real growth is gentle. It's quiet. It happens when you care for your energy. So here's a small challenge for you tonight. Before you sleep, choose one English phrase that brings you peace. Something simple, something kind. Maybe I am learning at my own pace. Or each day, I grow a little more. Say it softly, feel it, then close your eyes. You'll be amazed at how this simple ritual plants confidence deep inside you. Mina began doing that every night, her sleep affirmations as she called them. At first, it felt silly. But after a few nights, it became her favorite moment of the day. She told me, "It feels like I'm speaking to my future self, the version of me who already speaks English freely." And maybe that's the real secret. When you rest, you're not stopping your progress. You're meeting your future self halfway. A soft piano melody begins, hopeful, reflective. So tonight, when you lie down, remember this truth: your dreams are not separate from your goals. They are part of the same journey. And every hour of good sleep is another step toward the fluent, confident you that's already waiting in your tomorrow. But Mina's story doesn't end there, because one evening, something unexpected happened. A moment that tested everything she'd learned about trust, patience, and the quiet strength of rest. It was a cold evening in November, when Mina faced her biggest test. Her company had chosen her to give a short presentation in English to a group of international clients visiting Seoul. Her heart raced the moment she heard the news. This was everything she had worked for, and everything she had feared. That night she couldn't sleep at all. Her mind kept repeating the same worry. What if I forget my words? What if my English sounds strange? She tossed and turned until 2 a.m., and then opened her laptop, ready to practice again. But just as she was about to press play on another English video, she remembered something. The voice in her memory was soft, like a gentle wave. Better sleep means better English. She closed her laptop. She turned off the lights, and she whispered her phrase, the one she had said for weeks: "I am learning at my own pace. Tomorrow I will understand better." For the first time before something important, she chose rest over panic. The next morning, Mina woke up calm. She stood by her window, letting the pale morning light wash over her face like hope. She didn't feel perfect, but she felt clear. Ready? When she arrived at the meeting room, her hands were shaking slightly. Her English notes lay in front of her, but she didn't need to look down. She had practiced her slides, her vocabulary, and thanks to her rest, her confidence. She began, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Mina, and today I'd like to share how our team turned an idea into action." Her voice wasn't flawless, but it was full of life. Each sentence carried sincerity. Her pronunciation was smooth. Her pauses were natural. She wasn't translating in her head anymore. She was feeling the words. Halfway through, she made a small mistake. She said informations instead of information. For a moment, the old Mina might have frozen, but now she smiled gently and said, "Ah, too much information, maybe," and everyone laughed. That simple moment showed something powerful. Real fluency isn't about perfection, it's about connection. It's about being awake enough, calm enough, to keep going when small things go wrong. When the presentation ended, her manager leaned over and whispered, "Mina, that was your best yet." That evening she didn't celebrate with more studying. She took a slow walk by the river, watching the city lights shimmer on the water like scattered dreams. She realized something beautiful. Rest wasn't the opposite of effort, it was part of her discipline, the quiet side of growth. As she walked, she said softly to herself, "I don't just learn English when I study, I learn when I rest, when I breathe, when I live." Those words stayed with her, and maybe they can stay with you too, because sleep is not only about closing your eyes, it's about opening your mind. It's when your heart catches up to your goals, when your learning becomes part of your soul. So tonight, I want to invite you, don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Turn your learning into something peaceful. When you rest, let your dreams whisper in English. When you wake, let your heart remember them. And if you ever feel guilty for sleeping instead of studying, remember Mina standing by that window, facing her fears with calm courage, and discovering that sometimes the quietest moments create the loudest victories. Soft music returns, warm, inspiring, like sunrise. Mina, so my friend, take this message with you. In better sleep, better English, better life. Because when your body rests, your dreams begin to work. And when you wake up, you'll find that English isn't something outside of you anymore. It's part of your rhythm, part of your breath, part of your story. If this story inspired you, remember to subscribe and stay with our growing community, a place where learning feels calm, meaningful, and real. And before you go, tell me in the comments below, what time do you usually sleep, and how does rest affect your English learning? I'd love to hear your story.